Welcome to Meaningful Mondays with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, where we only know good people who do great things in our community. Whether you are a volunteer, a donor, or a nonprofit organization, each episode of Meaningful Mondays will celebrate you, our friends and neighbors who have a deep passion for and commitment to improving the quality of life for all in Middlesex County. So let's kick off the week with great conversations with remarkable people, businesses, and nonprofits making a difference right in our own backyard. Well, welcome everybody to Meaningful Mondays. It's always a meaningful day, period, no matter what day of the week it is in Middlesex County. But Mondays are particularly important to us because we highlight the good people who do great things in our community. And I am so honored and pleased and excited to have you, Lenny Goldberg from Lenny and JoAnn's with us today. So thanks for taking the time from your schedule and your grandbabies and your business to be with us today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate being invited to such a nice forum and look forward to chatting with you today.
All right. So let's start out. I doubt if there's anybody in Connecticut or even the United States or even the world, because I've seen some of the pictures on your wall at Lenny and JoAnn's that doesn't know all about you. But my gosh, you've been in business since 1979. So tell us a little bit about your business, how it got started. I know it's a family affair, so let's brag about your family and what you do for the community.
Okay, well, you're right. We opened our first place was right there in Madison, where the Madison location is now. It was 4 picnic tables on a porch and 3 or 4 picnic tables outside.
My gosh.
And my brother and I opened it up. It was an idea that we've had for, about 3 or 4 years after graduating college. While in college, we became familiar with this area because we rented an ice cream truck together. And our area was Westbrook and Old Saybrook. It was called the Hoodsy Truck.
Oh my gosh.
They were out there. And we really enjoyed our independence and running our own tiny little business. And of course, that was the late 60s, early 70s. And, we were a little bit anti-establishment. We didn't want the corporate life. To the chagrin of our parents, law school was so great, graduate school. And we had this crazy idea we were going to go into business for ourselves.
And you've had a lot of fun doing it, haven't you?
It's been a great ride. It's been amazing. I can't put into words the what it's been like. The people we've met, the things that we've accomplished, has just been overwhelming. So.
And I think it is all about the people, isn't it? I've been to Lenny and JoAnn's, and it's just, you look around and it's family time. Everybody's having a great time. But I didn't realize you started out with that ice cream truck.
That was our first enterprise. That's correct.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So 4 or 5 picnic tables, and then you grab from a truck to picnic tables, now to how many locations?
Well, we originally had 3 through the things. We had 3 locations being operated at one time. New Haven, unfortunately, during COVID was a licensed operation and didn't make it.
Yeah.
Madison is still there. Of course, that was our original location. And our little shack, as sad as it was in some ways, we had to demolish it and put up a much bigger location to handle the crowds that happened. And we're going to consolidate Madison, have it both be an indoor and outdoor. But Madison became so popular in itself, we said, let's not tinker with it. And we found a family restaurant in Westbrook and opened that up. So we were running the 2 operations throughout our career.
And for that one person in the whole universe that's not familiar with Lenny and JoAnn's, what can they expect on the menu besides yum?
Well, we were primarily fresh seafood, and that was our mantra. We serve fresh seafood. It's properly prepared. Our portions are generous, And we do that in a nice, friendly atmosphere where the customer comes first. And we try to do it all with reasonable prices, which I got to be honest is getting harder and harder nowadays.
I bet, but you do a really good job. A couple of things though, Lenny, that I know because I've met some of your staff people. There's a culture of family there. And you have folks who have been there for years and years and years. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you have some teachers who work there every summer, correct?
You are absolutely correct. This has really been a family affair. We have grandchildren now, and I'm
Oh my gosh,
embarrassed to say of our original kids that worked
I love it.
that worked there. So yeah, it's a lot of uh, fathers and sons and mothers and sons and mothers and daughters currently work for us and have in the past. We've had people meet there and get married there.
Oh
And
my gosh.
it just goes on and on and on. It's what really makes it so special for us that
Well,
we have this great family atmosphere.
you create memories, Lenny, and it is that family affair. So I'm going to take you out of the family affair to the broader community because the reason that we're interviewing folks like you is because you are wonderful business leaders, wonderful leaders in the community, and you give back so much. And this is really about the payback of giving back. So you are absolutely legendary and I honestly mean that, Lenny, in terms of what you give back to the community. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a little carousel in Madison still.
There,
And
there certainly is, and you're embarrassing me, Cynthia, with your kind words, but because we've gotten so much from this community that we hate to focus on what we've done. But the carousel is we do think is one of our crowning achievements. That came about when we were able to purchase some more land in Madison. And one of the things that I always enjoyed when our kids were growing up was taking a day off in the busy summer. And we would actually go to Rhode Island and we'd go to the beach and then we'd go get ice cream or dinner.
yeah,
And we would stop at that famous Watch Hill Carousel that
right.
oldest in the country. And it's owned by the Watch Hill Fire Department and supports them. So when we were thinking about this extra land, as well as adding, an ice cream stand and more parking and whatever else we needed, pavilion, the idea of, well, why don't we put a nice little carousel up? And that was kind of the roots of that. And then as we thought about it, we said, why not make this a charitable enterprise? So that's what we decided on, and all the ride money since 1999 has been donated to charitable causes. We don't take any of the expenses of running the carousel, none of the maintenance, none of the employees' wages that run it. It's 100% ride money's there.
That's so great.
Yeah,
And I know it's over 1 million, isn't it, that you've donated back?
yeah. We hope to hit 1.4 million this year.
Oh my gosh.
It's been no pun intended, but it's been a great ride. It's been well. We've been able to give to scholarships and land trusts and sports and the YMCA and the food pantries and the food
Yep.
kitchens, and we have certain charities that have designated days, and the revenue they bring in from the carousel that day goes directly to them.
Great.
And they also come and spend some time there and share their mission with our customers. So it's really a win-win situation for everybody. So we couldn't be, any luckier the way it just developed and came out. It's one of our crowning achievements, like I said.
Well, Lenny, I think lucky isn't the word I'd use. I think everybody's grateful for what you've done in making everything a win-win situation. And I'll make you blush because you need to, and I want to brag about you and what you do, because it's important for people to hear. So we are honored, and I'll move from what you talked about in terms of the nonprofits that you help and the causes that you help. We're fortunate enough that you've started not one, but two funds with us, a donor advised fund and then also a field of interest fund. But let me brag about you, Lenny. So you're involved with, you love children, so you're involved in giving back to children. You love the environment and taking care of it, so you're involved in giving back to the environment. I heard you talk about scholarships, so education is important to not only you and but also JoAnn, whom we love, and we're going to get her involved too. But tell me, just give us a little background on why you came to the Community Foundation and set up those funds.
Well, I guess I've always heard great things about the Community Foundation. I've served on a few other boards, and everybody said, well, this small little community of how many towns? I think 9, 11 towns.
15. We have 15.
15. There we go.
I know. Can you imagine? We grew.
I'm underestimating your impact, but we're just so fortunate to have an organization like the Community Fund of Middlesex County. So when I was thinking about setting up a donor advisory fund and all the advantages, and we got a lot of choices, but my first choice was to chat with you folks, and you won me over immediately, Cynthia.
Well, we're glad we did.
Because your knowledge and your caring and you just have a very special organization there.
Well, thank you for that.
Helps me meet my goals and my mission for my personal charitable giving. So, of course, after the donor advisory fund, when we set up the other fund, which we, are going to be funding through the rest of our lifetime, but even part of our estate planning, we have a charitable component, and we want to feel comfortable that it goes back to the community and some of the important causes we have. You guys checked all the boxes. That's all I can say.
Well, thank you for that, Lenny. Now you're going to make me blush. So, but I thank you for mentioning a couple of things for folks who, and by the way, people do listen to our podcast. So we're going to be asking for your autograph after this.
I don't think so.
We really will. But you mentioned a couple of things. Number one, we always tease here and say we're nosy. But what that really means is we really try so hard, as all community foundations do, to know the community. And then we try to get to know folks like you and JoAnn and where your interests and passions really lie, so we can perhaps bring ideas to you. And then you were gracious enough to think about your estate planning. And so long live your values, through your estate plan and everything that you really care about, we as a community foundation will be able to carry out.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
No, well, no. So now, Lenny, what do you love about where we live, work, and play? Because I want everyone to know how special where we are is.
People ask me that all the time, and sometimes I say I love to go to New York City for the day, but somehow when I come back here, I feel so fortunate. I like the scale, the scope, the size, the beauty, the small communities we have, the people that know each other. I love to go to Florida in the winter now because I'm like all the other winter rats. The cold doesn't have, camping in 0-degree weather doesn't have the attraction it used to. But there's nothing like coming back here, coming back to the beauty, the people. And we're just so fortunate that this corner of our state is just there. I wish I could articulate it more, but I think you just have experience.
You really said it perfectly, and we're recording this, so I'm going to copy that down, and you'll see it in some of our press that we put.
Oh my gosh!
No, it's really good. But I think the essence of where we are is the community. Everybody has a heart and cares about this community, and I think you and JoAnn, through your funds, are really working hard to keep the community culture and feel forever. And so we so appreciate that.
Well, thank you. We really, think global, but act locally. And that's, we really believe in that mantra.
And it shows, Lenny. So we've talked about the culture where you are. We've talked about how legendary Lenny and Joe's is, and now you will be too. We've talked about, and I appreciate and should mention that your brother Joe also works with the the Guilford Foundation, another community foundation. So we appreciate your family's trust in a community foundation and what it does. So thank you. And to Joe for that too. We've talked about what you care about. We haven't bragged about your grandbabies because I know there are some more. So tell us a little bit about them because I have heard about them.
Well, it makes you kind of goofy and silly as you get older. Having these grandbabies, before you know it, you're out to dinner, you're talking about them. But Joey and I are very fortunate. We have I have three daughters and we have four granddaughters. We just had a grandson, 3 months old, and they really are the life of the light of our life. We see them all the time. Our two grandchildren live in Ivoryton, and
Nice, close by.
we have set babysitting days, but we probably see them twice as many as that. They're always popping in and out. We're just
Good.
so fortunate, and they're just growing up so fast, and it's scary. And Allie lives up in New Hampshire, but she's actually on her way here now with the two younger ones. The older one's in kindergarten now,
Oh my gosh.
getting back. It's just we're just so fortunate, and we love them, and it teaches us to slow down and realize what's important, and also the fact of having thinking forward for our community because of the grandbabies, because
Well,
a lot of challenges that we didn't have, and there's going to be a lot of needs and a lot of concerns there.
Well, thank you for thinking forward. And now I'm going to ask you to give some advice to those folks who are listening, because one of the things that we have been doing with business leaders such as yourself to say, what's the payback for giving back? And what advice would you give to business owners, business leaders about thinking about giving back if they haven't already?
I could just say, jump right in. It's something that you will be rewarding to you, not only financially. I think it's a good thing, but more importantly, it makes you more well-rounded. It'll give you a closer, more ties with your employees and your customers,
Yeah.
and whatever you do. It's just eye-opening. It's you have to experience to do it. But if you've been thinking about it, and I understand when you first start a business, you're so singly focused. But the one thing, as we became more established, to have a bigger picture, which is giving back to the community and becoming part of the community, so important.
Well, it sounds so simple, but you have taken it to the next level, Lenny. I can't thank you enough for all that you do. So I only have two more questions. So was there a question I should have asked that I didn't ask?
No, I think you covered it all. You did
Okay.
You did a great job.
And besides seeing the grandbaby that's on the way down from New Hampshire, or no, the two little ones, sorry. What are you looking forward to in the next couple of months?
Nothing overwhelming or spectacular. I got no big plans. I'd say it's more as I got to go to some of my passions, whether it's just going up on a nice crisp morning and flying some circles in the sky, or watching my garden grow, or it's that simple. It's just
or getting out on I'm sorry, I interrupted, but getting out on the trails on your bike.
Absolutely. All that's just good stuff, and staying active and involved and socially, involved with my great friends here. So we're very blessed, and we can't thank you enough. And it's just been wonderful.
Well, Lenny, we are blessed to have you as a friend of the Community Foundation and the entire community. And I want to personally thank you for everything that you do for so many. And as I started this whole thing, is we only know good people who do great things, and you're right up there at the top. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
My pleasure. You keep up all your good work, please.
Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Meaningful Mondays. At the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, we know that philanthropy matters and philanthropy works. Together, we support the arts, education, human services, animal welfare, the environment, heritage enhancements, and so much more by providing services, programs, and grants to our local nonprofits. We invite you to learn more and share your passion with us. Visit us at middlesexcountycf.org or contact us at 860-347-0025. Together, we can make great things happen.